Today we are talking about tornado shapes. Most people think a tornado is just a spinning cone that drops from the sky and tears things apart. But what if I told you there's a tornado 2.6 miles wide? A tornado that grew into a monster in under 60 seconds? And one so thin it's barely visible, yet still ripping apart buildings. Today, I'm breaking down the most fascinating tornado shapes. Needle tornadoes. Imagine you're driving and you see something strange. A thin line hanging from the sky like someone drew a single stroke with a marker. It's so narrow you're not even sure it's real. Would you stop? Would you take shelter? Or would you assume it's harmless? That decision is crucial and could even kill you. These are needle tornadoes, sometimes no wider than a telephone pole. They form in the earliest stages when rotation is tight but starved of moisture. They can appear and vanish in seconds, carving quick scratch marks before dissolving like smoke. But can this really be dangerous? The answer is yes. Needle tornadoes can pack winds exceeding 80 or 90 miles per hour, strong enough to flip structures and send debris tumbling. They're nature's first whisper before the scream. In 2016, storm chasers documented a needle tornado near Campo, Colorado, that was barely visible against the sky, lasted less than a minute but still managed to damage farm equipment. So, if something that looks like a thread can cause real damage, what happens when that thread starts moving, twisting and lashing like it's alive? Rope tornadoes. Rope tornadoes are thin, flexible funnels that twist, coil, and lash across the sky like serpents learning to fly. But here's what doesn't make sense. Ropes usually appear during the weakening stage as the vortex narrows. So if it's narrowing, it's dying, right? Wrong. Some of the strongest tornadoes ever recorded ended in a rope stage while still packing winds over 150 miles per hour. That narrow, elegant shape dancing across the sky could still obliterate a house in seconds. The Mayfield, Kentucky tornado of December 2021, the one that killed over 80 people, spent part of its long track in a rope stage while still maintaining devastating intensity. Storm chasers watched it snake across the landscape, bending and twisting, while it continued to destroy everything in its path. Elephant trunk tornadoes. Picture a funnel that widens toward the ground, looking like an elephant's trunk reaching from the sky. Unlike the unpredictable rope, this one moves with purpose. So what does that widening mean? Is it getting stronger? Is this the moment you need to run? The answer is maybe. Elephant trunks form when the funnel grows stronger, pulling in more moisture and debris. They often mark the transition between weak tornadoes and powerful ones. You're watching something become dangerous in real time. Storm chasers love them because they're dramatic without the overwhelming width of larger tornadoes. But don't let that grace fool you. They can still reach EF2, strength or higher. The Simla, Colorado tornado of June 2015 became one of the most photographed elephant trunk tornadoes in history. Storm chasers captured it leaning and curving across the plains in a perfect elephant trunk shape, which eventually caused significant damage to rural structures. As the elephant trunk tornado thickens and stabilizes, the classic tornado shape emerges. And that's when the real danger starts. Cone tornadoes. If you were asked to draw a tornado, you'd sketch a cone, wide at the cloud base, narrow at the bottom. It's the textbook shape everyone recognizes. But here's what most don't realize. If you're looking at a cone, you're not watching the beginning. You're watching a tornado that has decided to strengthen. Cones form when rotation intensifies, pulling in massive amounts of warm, moist air. This thickens the funnel into a tapered triangle ranging from barely wider than a house to hundreds of yards across. Cones are stable, long-lasting, and capable of intensifying without warning. Many EF3 and EF4 tornadoes start as cones before morphing into something bigger. An example is the Tuscaloosa-Birmingham tornado of April 2011, which spent much of its deadly 80-mile path as a massive cone tornado. Witnesses described it as a perfect dark triangle cutting through neighborhoods, eventually reaching EF4 intensity and killing 64 people. Stovepipe tornadoes. If a cone looks dangerous, a stovepipe looks like a declaration of war. Perfectly vertical, uniformly wide, and ominously dark. The stovepipe is one of the clearest signals that a storm has developed serious, sustained rotation. And it's not stopping. This stovepipe isn't wobbling or weakening, it's locked in. Stovepipes form when the tornado pulls in so much moisture and debris that the funnel becomes solid and sharply outlined. Many high-end EF3 and EF4 tornadoes hold this shape for miles, carving brutal paths with mechanical efficiency. The Andover, Kansas tornado of April 2022 was such a classical stovepipe. It maintained that shape for an extended period as it moved through the town, causing EF3 damage and destroying dozens of homes. Barrel tornadoes. Barrel tornado is huge, round, and impossibly thick. But here's what makes them unnerving. They don't just look bigger, they are bigger. These are larger than stovepipes, with bulging sides that look like rotating water towers tearing across the ground. Barrels form when the tornado wraps itself in multiple layers of condensation and debris, creating a dark, heavy funnel with enormous mass. Their wind fields stretch far beyond the visible funnel, and their internal rotation hints at extreme violence within the core. Many EF4 and EF5 tornadoes pass through a barrel stage, widening their footprint and pulling in debris from astonishing distances. The debris cloud beneath them grows so deep it hides the true width of the vortex. For example, the Joplin, Missouri tornado of May 2011 took on a barrel shape as it intensified to EF5 strength. It killed 161 people and caused catastrophic destruction across the city. Hourglass tornadoes. Imagine watching a tornado that looks squeezed in the middle, like invisible hands pinched it. The top is wide, the bottom is wide, but the center? Impossibly narrow. So how does that even happen? How does a tornado stay connected when the middle looks ready to snap? Hourglasses form when strong inflow near the ground and powerful rotational lift overpower the mid-level inflow, tightening the funnel in the center while both ends expand. The result is so unusual that even experienced chasers do double takes. The Ray, Colorado tornado of May 2016 became one of the most documented hourglass tornadoes ever. Both the top and bottom of the tornado can contain violent winds capable of serious damage, and some hourglasses have rapidly expanded into wedges that doubled in size within minutes. This shape reminds us that tornadoes are fluid, constantly evolving. They transform in real time, sometimes faster than you can react. Wedge tornadoes. If every shape before this has been a warning, the wedge is the final alarm, and by the time you recognize it, it might already be too late. A wedge is a tornado so wide it appears broader than it is tall, like an enormous dark landmass sliding across the horizon. But here's the haunting question. How do you even tell it's a tornado when it's that wide? The El Reno, Oklahoma tornado of May 2013 reached a record-breaking width of 2.6 miles, making it the widest tornado ever recorded. Storm chasers described it as a massive, churning wall that didn't even look like a traditional tornado. It looked like the entire sky was touching the ground. It killed 3 veteran storm researchers who couldn't escape its unpredictable path. At first, you might think you're looking at a rain shaft or low-hanging cloud. Then you realize the ground beneath it is being obliterated, and you're running out of time. Wedges often span half a mile, or even more, transforming everything beneath them into a moving shadow. They blend into rain and clouds, making them nearly invisible until they're too close to escape. And here's what makes them terrifying. These tornadoes are overwhelmingly associated with EF4 and EF5 damage. Homes swept from foundations, trees stripped bare, and cars mangled into unrecognizable metal. The 1999 Bridge Creek tornado, the 2013 El Reno monster, and the 2008 Parkersburg disaster were all wedges. It's the ultimate tornado shape. So, which tornado shape shocked you the most? Drop your comment below, and if you'd like to see more tornado videos, hit subscribe.